Many employers assume that when a candidate turns down a job offer, it must be because the salary wasn't high enough, the benefits weren't what the candidate was hoping for, or the commute was too far. While these are certainly factors, research and real world recruiting experience reveal another powerful driver behind declined offers: the candidate experience. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, and wherever you happen to be right now. I'm Mike Voorhees, here to help you build a stronger team. From the very first interaction to the final offer letter, the way a candidate feels during the process can make or break their decision. A job offer is not evaluated in a vacuum. It's weighed against how the company treated them during the interviews, how timely communication was, whether they felt respected, and whether the hiring process reflected a culture they would want to step into. Candidates don't just choose jobs based on the offer, they make their decision based on the entire experience. The candidate experience is the sum of every interaction a job seeker has with the employer throughout the hiring process. It includes how easy it was to apply or begin the conversation, how quickly and thoughtfully the company responded, the quality and tone of interview conversations, the organization and professionalism of the process, the clarity of communication at each step, the level of respect and empathy shown. When the candidate experience is poor, candidates interpret it as a preview of what working at the company would be like. And why wouldn't they? Even if the offer looks good on paper, they may walk away. Today's labor market, especially in industries like landscaping, lawn care, and other green industry sectors, it's highly competitive. The same with construction careers, the same with accounting and finance positions. Skilled workers have options. In fact, the best candidates often juggle multiple opportunities at once. And that means they're not just evaluating the role and the compensation, they're evaluating the entire process. Did the company value their time? Were they treated like a person and not just a resume? Did the process reflect a culture of respect and professionalism, or bureaucracy and indifference? If the answer to those questions is negative, the employer may never get to the point of a signed offer, no matter how generous. Here are some real world examples of how experience derails offers. The silent treatment. A candidate applies for a position and waits weeks to hear back. By the time the company finally reaches out, the candidate has already formed an impression. They don't move fast. They don't care. Even if the offer eventually comes, the opportunity feels less appealing compared to competitors who are quicker and more responsive. And then there's the marathon interview, right? Some companies require candidates to endure 5, 6, or even 10 rounds of interviews, often asking the same questions repeatedly. This leaves candidates exhausted, frustrated, and questioning whether the company can make decisions efficiently. A long, drawn-out process can sour even the most interested applicant. And then we have the disorganized experience. Imagine arriving for an interview where the manager is late, the interviewers haven't read the resume, or the technology doesn't work. Candidates notice. They wonder, is this how they handle hiring? How chaotic is it to actually work here? And then there's the lack of respect. Even subtle things matter, like failing to send updates, canceling interviews last minute without apology, or making the candidate feel rushed. These small signals add up to big conclusion. The company doesn't respect people. The downside of a poor candidate experience includes missed hires. The most obvious downside is losing great candidates who choose another company. But the ripple effects go further. You'll end up with a damaged employer brand. Candidates talk. A poor experience doesn't just cost one hire, it can damage your reputation in the talent market. Sites like Glassdoor and Indeed, they make it easy for job seekers to share their stories. You also have to be concerned with increased costs. When an offer is declined, the hiring process has to restart. This means more recruiter hours, more advertising spend, and more lost productivity for the role that remains vacant. You'll have a lower employee engagement. If candidates do accept an offer despite a poor experience, they may start with lower trust and enthusiasm. That mindset can carry into performance and retention. So, what do great candidate experiences even look like? The good news: improving candidate experience doesn't always require big changes, just intentional ones. Here are some hallmarks of a great process. Start with fast, clear communication. Respond to applications promptly. Keep candidates updated about where they stand. If there's a delay, explain why and set expectations. Most candidates would rather hear, "We're still interviewing, expect an update next week," than silence. Have respect for people's time. Streamline the interview process. Respect the candidate's schedule. Don't waste their time with unnecessary steps. Present well prepared interviewers. Train hiring managers to come prepared. Ask thoughtful questions and represent the company positively. Every interviewer should be an ambassador for the employer brand. Transparency is huge. Be clear about compensation, role expectations, and what the next steps look like. Surprises at the end of the process erode trust. Throw in some personalization. Treat candidates as individuals, not numbers. Small touches like remembering their goals or tailoring the conversation goes a long way. And remember, the offer alone isn't enough. It's tempting for companies to think they can simply fix hiring challenges by increasing salaries or adding perks. And while competitive compensation is critical, it's not the only factor. A candidate might receive two similar offers. Company A offered slightly more money, but left the candidate waiting for weeks between interviews, asked redundant questions, and provided little clarity about next steps. Meanwhile, Company B offered slightly less, but ran a smooth, professional process where the candidate felt valued and respected. 9 times out of 10, the candidate chooses Company B. Why? Because money matters, but the work environment matters more. The experience gave them a glimpse into what daily life at each company would be like, and they chose the better experience. Wouldn't you? Here are a few action steps for employers. If you want candidates to accept your offers, invest in the experience from day one. Audit your process. Walk through your own hiring process as if you were a candidate. Where are the pain points? Train your managers. Ensure everyone involved in hiring knows how to communicate clearly, conduct professional interviews, and represent the company well. Simplify the steps. Cut unnecessary interviews. Use structured, efficient processes. Communicate constantly. Even a quick check-in email makes a candidate feel valued. Measure and improve, right? Track candidate feedback after the process and use it to refine your approach. The bottom line is this: when candidates turn down job offers, it's not always about the offer itself. More often than many employers realize, it's about the experience. Every unanswered email, every disorganized interview, every unnecessary delay tells candidates something about the company's culture. The best candidates, those with options, listen to those signals and they act accordingly. Improving candidate experience isn't just about being polite, it's a business strategy. It reduces time to hire, improves offer acceptance rates, and strengthens your employer brand. Most importantly, it ensures that when you find the right person, they'll say yes to your offer, not walk away because of a process that pushed them out the door. So here's your next step. If your team struggles with candidate experience, or if you're losing great hires even when your offers are competitive, BR1 can help. From optimizing your recruiting process to finding candidates most likely to succeed, we work with business leaders to build stronger, more successful teams. Let's work together to build your stronger team.